Good morning. So let's talk about a research methodology called content analysis, and it's a type of secondary research. So what that means is you're not going to be generating the data. You're not going to be doing any field work, gathering data or doing interviews or working in the lab or anything like that, which is primary research. So content analysis is secondary research. The data is already there. And usually for content analysis, the data is already publicly available. So it could be in the form of newspapers, articles, interviews, anything that is already in the public domain. And this is a very common technique, and it was made very popular through a number of political campaigns where people would go and analyze the content of interviews between political opponents or different political parties, and then do analysis on the key words and the themes and the arguments in those interviews to develop some sort of theory about either the political party's viewpoint or the individual or whoever was speaking or whatever interview was given, etc. And the same can apply to any publicly available data. It's most commonly used to analyze written materials. So obviously on the internet there's going to be vast amounts of data out there. You obviously need to be aware of the sources of the data from which you do some content analysis. And I've done a case study using content analysis, which I'll put a link to in the description of this video, so you can actually go and have a look at an example of content analysis being used in real life. But just to tell you very quickly about what I did, I analyzed a bunch of YouTube videos that had been produced about a software development competition called a hackathon, and I was analyzing the words used in those interviews for occurrences of keywords related to agile software development. Agile is a type of software development, and what I was investigating was whether agile as a type of software development had emerged naturally at this event that had taken place. So everything was already available on the internet and on YouTube. And I verified the source, obviously, so that there was some credibility in the source and the data that I was analyzing, and I was able to develop key themes and pull out some findings. Now, one would have to be quite systematic and comprehensive if you were using it as the main methodology in a full PhD. This was just a case study that I wrote and submitted to a conference, and it was published in the Conference Proceedings Journal. So I'll put a link to that, and you can go and see how content analysis, how I've used it in a study. But just to recap, it's a secondary research method whereby you analyze primarily written material, but can be audio, visual, like I did, and you look for whatever it is that you are researching from that data. So have a look at content analysis, very powerful research method. And the great thing is, of course, that data is already there. You don't have to do the hard work of going out and gathering the data as one would with interviews and lab work, etc. So obviously always check with your supervisors and make sure that it fits the topic and your faculty and so on. But that's a bit of information about content analysis. Go and have a look at the case study journal article in the description below.